Hey guys, welcome to another 4-Up Gaming Bat Rep. This one's going to be a little bit different. We decided to change our lists around a little bit.
Yeah, big changes.
Yeah, we keep hearing the same thing from a lot of people, that a lot of tournaments and stuff are starting to use a lot more terrain. In the rule book and in the FAQs, I can't find anything that says anything about a minimum amount of terrain. But we keep seeing that 6 is the minimum. It's kind of the old way that Warhammer and 40K used to be done, where it was broken up into 6 quadrants on the board and you had at least one piece of terrain for each quadrant.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's so we're kind of adopting that philosophy a little bit, and we're adding more terrain to the board. In doing so, though, it kind of prompted both of us to change our lists a little bit. So this game, I guess, this bat rep is going to be a little bit more of a tutorial bat rep. It's going to be kind of how to play test an army, so to speak. So it's not going to be a true full-on bat rep like you're used to. So we're going to have some models that are counts as models. We're going to have some cardboard.
Lots of counts as.
We're going to have stuff that's unpainted, like we normally do. But we're going to have, like I said, a lot of counts as and some cardboard. So if you guys don't like that in a bat rep, I would go ahead and turn this one off now. But if you want to kind of see, maybe if you're a newer gamer and you want to kind of see how to play test an army, this is kind of what this one is going to be a little more about. We
try out some different armies.
Yeah, we went ahead and
let's build.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Don't want to buy the models until you play tested enough where you figure out what's going on.
Right. We both have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on models we don't use anymore over the years. So yeah, it's cool. You gain a huge, complex whole bunch of models, but when you only use a quarter of the amount that you have, it kind of gets depressing.
So when you glue your models down and
you're
kind of stuck with what it is, it kind of hurts.
Especially when you decide you want to change it up. So, so Tom's still going to be playing the Dwarfs. His philosophy on what he did for the Dwarfs is a little different. We'll show you guys the list here in just a sec. But I noticed
straight balance.
Yeah, just
a lot of shooting,
balance.
a lot of fast, a lot of different stuff going on. Just trying stuff out. Trying a whole different list, way different than what I'm used to playing my March Dwarfs. So we'll see how it goes. I like the concept.
Yeah,
nice balance.
And I kind of went a little more combat oriented, I guess. I only have 3.
More combat than the shooting elves.
Oh yeah, I only have 3 units in this new elf list that are actually having kind of a shooting attack. So I went from being mostly shooty now to mostly combat. And the thing is, these lists are going to change a lot, and that's why you don't want to invest a whole lot of time and money into necessarily your first couple of lists or even first dozen lists, because you're trying to work things out, trying to work points out, what units work, what units don't, and we'll talk about that as we go on through the game and as we wrap things up in the review. So we'll go ahead. We've already placed terrain on the board. We have, what do we get, 8 pieces of terrain?
I think 7 or 8.
7 or 8, something like that. So we have some obstacles in here. We have a lot of forests. We have 1 hill, some blocking terrain. So we tried to mix it up.
Than what we normally play. So
we're trying to mix it up. We know some of you guys like to see different things. Well, everybody likes to see different stuff. So we're trying to mix it up a little bit, give you guys something different to look at. And unfortunately, though, our scenario is kill again, just because kill is the most basic. So when you're trying to play test a list and it's your really just basic game, you're just trying to see the nuts and bolts of what's going to work in this list and what's not. It's a good one to start out with.
Oh yeah, stick with kill, figure it out, see what's happening with your army.
And then once you kind of get certain units that you think are going to work well, maybe like your second or third game with a list, then I would try adding objectives, see how that list works with capturing objectives, and
start adding a few models.
Right.
Get some models in there.
Right.
If it's working for you, stick with it.
Exactly.
Don't change it up.
Exactly. Don't do it.
Except for this.
yeah. This is.
We're completely different armies.
Yeah.
So should be a good battle.
So we'll go ahead and show you guys what we have. All right, so we got Dwarfs, 2,000 points.
Yeah.
How'd you deploy? Tell me what you got.
Deployed around the side with the Brock Riders. Didn't think I'd be countered by the 2 Drakon Riders, so kind of in trouble over there. My Ranger Captain jumped out with his, he only used a 10-inch move, he has a 20-inch move with the wings of the Honey Maze. Kind of a cool thing to add. War Machine Hunter, definitely. No War Machines in his army, so we'll see how he does. Unit of Iron Guard. unit of bulwarkers, unit of shield breakers, and unit of riflemen. 2 units of rangers out front. He pretty much set up in the center. So not sure what I was playing here.
What's he again? That's Fury, right? It's Fury Eagle Axe.
Eagle Axe.
And then you've got what's that over there?
Driller.
Battle Driller. That's kind of befitting, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's a monster though, right?
It's a monster.
The hell?
Or I don't think it's a monster. It's an individual.
Oh.
With like some weird rules. So.
Okay. Well, individual works.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's rangers out front.
Looks like you pretty well spaced yourself out, actually.
A little bit. I tried to come at it from all angles.
Yeah. Try to encircle my army. So. Yeah.
I like it.
2,000 points.
Tactic.
It's a pretty big army.
Yeah, not bad.
We'll see how it does. I guess I'll show you the elves, and then we'll talk about deploying, or we'll talk about terrain. All right. So for me, I've got the 2 awesome cardboard
Dracon Riders.
Dracon Riders. It says Forsaken on them, but they are actually Dracon Riders because Forsaken.
Can you flip them over?
What's that?
Or you got something on the other side?
I could probably flip them over, but this one has a little arrow on there. So.
Nice.
I've got a horde of tall spears. Behind them, I have an elven mage with Bane Chant. I have another horde of tall spears behind them with an elven mage with Bane Chant. And then guess what? Another horde of tall spears
with Bane Chant.
with an elven mage with Bane Chant. In the middle, I've got forest shamblers. They're being represented by these hunters of the wild. I know the base size is a little bit different. It's actually just a regiment, so the base should be a little bit wider by about 20 millimeters, and it definitely shouldn't be as long as, or I guess as thick as this is. And then the 3 white elves that are unpainted are my master hunters. So what I did is I vanguarded up, not too much I guess with everything, because I knew he had vanguard units too, and we don't want all of our vanguard units to get wiped out right away. So, but obviously we want to slow each other down a little bit. So I originally wanted to spread things out, but as he started...
He castled up right in the center.
Yeah, I totally castled up in the center. I had to. Once I saw you spreading out, I'm like, oh crap, I can't put anything over here because I can't fit a horde through here. It's too narrow. I don't want to put a horde all the way out there because then, knowing Tom, he would just isolate that horde and deploy everything over there, and then I pretty much threw away a horde. So I'm trying to keep all my units relevant. I'm trying to have all of them in the game because unfortunately Tom likes to try and isolate certain parts of the battlefield and make you waste certain units. So hopefully my Dracon Riders can get in on the side and slow some things down. I tried to go kind of with a hammer anvil type list, but it's really hard because in my opinion I don't really see any hammer, like true hammer units that the elves have. They have a lot of good anvil units. They're actually not pretty squishy. They actually stand and hold, but there's not a whole lot of countering there. So we'll see how well this list works as far as a hammer anvil type. Otherwise, I might be dropping some things and adding some Stormwind Cav instead of Dracon Riders because they're just so expensive.
Dracon Riders,
yeah.
So not worth the points.
270 points a unit without war gear. I just don't know if I know they're flying, I get that, but the Stormwind Cav are 9 movement, so they're right under flying.
Yeah.
They don't have the extra nimble move, so I mean they are limited with mobility, but what they lack in mobility they make up for in point cost reduction. They're only 215 points as opposed to 270. I mean, you can give them good war gear. I gave one, my old list, I gave them Brew of Strength and 245. They're still way under, and I think that's a better unit in my mind. So we'll see how this game goes. As far as the battlefield, I mean, we've got a wide variety of stuff.
Tons of terrain.
We've got some blocking terrain.
Blocking,
got some hills.
hill.
Yeah. Got an obstacle.
Got to put one obstacle in there. Got a little forest in the center.
Yep. Some forest around there and some more blocking. So we'll go ahead and get started with the game. See how it goes. Alright, before we go any further, we have a little disclaimer that we're going to give. I used to try and have it in a little ticker that went at the bottom of the screen, but apparently that's too hard to read. So, the first thing is nerve tests. For any of you guys that are new to this game, nerve tests are actually supposed to be done by the attacking player. So, if I'm attacking one of Tom's units and I put 5 wounds on them, I actually roll the nerve test and add that with the wounds to see if the unit's routed. That is the actual way that the game is supposed to be played. We understand that, and in other places, when we're not playing here, that is exactly how we play. We have no issues with that. We have no issues with the way that's done. But here, Tom has a house rule, and you know what? This is one of the beautiful things about wargaming, is that it can be changed slightly, and it doesn't mess up the game. I know some people just think it's completely...
anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's no changes at all, other than I roll my own nerve. If you roll your own nerve, you should do it. Like, you should save your own unit. You should not do nothing in your opponent's face. Absolutely nothing. Like, he's just going to shoot and attack and roll my nerve. My units are going to fail. I do nothing in my turn. By rolling your own nerve, you kind of make it interesting. Like, you're saving your own unit. You're like, oh man, I got to save my unit. I got to roll under a 13 or 12 or whatever it is. You're like, bam, oh, I saved my unit. It's a cool feeling. It's nice. I like the touch it adds. It's pretty cool.
So it gets the other player engaged in the turn. We're used to playing other war games where both players are engaged in every turn. You can try and dispel things, or I guess you say you could, because the game's no longer around. You could try and dispel things. You had a leadership test that you had to pass, and so in that way you were still in your portion of the game. Now I understand that the way this game is done is pretty much, it's done based on like a chess clock. So the one player just goes until their turn is done, and it goes to the next player, and there's really no interaction as far as the
slow
armies.
anything down or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't. In our way of playing, you know, when the owning player of the unit does their nerve check, I know it may seem weird to new players, but all the new player is looking for is the dice. Okay, just watch the dice. Whether it's rolled by me or rolled by him, you're just watching what number comes up on the dice, because all that matters is what's rolled. It doesn't matter who rolls it in our game. It just matters on what's being rolled. So if it's a 10,
still a nerve test.
Yeah, then it's still a 10. Whether I roll it or he roll it, it's still a 10. So some people say that, oh, that's not right because whatever, and that's fine. If that's the way that you guys like to play, then that's cool. And we understand if we ever go to a tournament, we understand completely that we will be rolling nerve tests against the opposing army. We have no issues with playing the way the game is supposed to be played.
Hopefully Mantic looks at this and they're like, oh, that's a great idea. Roll your own nerve. Like, save your own unit.
Yeah, actually
like,
get you
so
involved.
much cool.
Yeah. So we just want to give that little disclaimer before you start with the game. Also, there are certain things that we're going to be, there are certain rules that we may forget as the game goes on. We're not perfect. It does happen. It happens even to the best players. Not trying to say that we're best players, but it does happen to the best of players. They forget. And we're going to try and do the best that we can to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing in every phase and every turn. But stuff does get overlooked, so forgive us now. I know you guys have been posting comments as far as what we've forgotten, and that's good. Some stuff we may mess up on, and that just happens.
It's good to know what we mess up on.
Exactly.
I like it.
So don't feel bad about letting us know, hey, you messed up on this. Yeah. We're happy with that.
Oh, this rule is a little different than what you guys are interpreting it as. So definitely post it up. Post and let us know what's going on.
You know, this is going to be, like I said, this battle report is going to be a little more of a tutorial version of it. It's going to be a little different than a regular battle report. So things are going to be a little different. We're going to try and break things down a little bit differently for those of you that are new to list building, new to the game of Kings of War. So we're going to go get started with turn 1. Nice. So whenever I'm playtesting a list, the first thing I like to do is really put every unit through its paces, especially units that I have little experience with, that I know how they handle in combat. I'll be the first one to tell you that something may look good on paper, and the second you put it into practice on the tabletop, it's going to act completely different. Plus, given your tactics and what you're doing, you know, it's going to definitely behave differently than it does on a piece of paper. So I like to put everything through its paces and see what all it does. This turn was really about putting those 4 shamblers through their pace. They're represented by the Hunters of the Wild. I wanted to see just what they could do. Can they really take out a ranger unit? Are they really worth having as a skirmisher unit? Granted, they were just points fill, but 125 points for a points fill is quite a bit. So these guys needed to at least make their points back. That is the judge of really any good unit. Alright, so turn 1 for the Elves. Pretty much just my Vanguard stuff moved out of the forest. My 4 Shamblers represented by my Hunters. Hit the Rangers.
Rangers survived. They like it.
Oh man, yeah, I did 4 wounds. I figured that'd probably be enough.
10-12 probably should have been right there.
Yeah, you think that'd be enough, but no, it's not. You rolled a 3 on the nerve test, so yeah, that doesn't do anything. However, I did waiver your
My
dude
Ranger
with the
Captain.
wings of the honey maze.
Yeah. Little Ranger Captain wavered
Yay.
with 3 wounds.
Yay.
He's a War Machine hunter. There's no War Machine, so he's kind of dead.
Yeah, he's just sitting there. Drakon Riders moved around the massive bastion over here. I didn't want to fly too far, obviously, because I do have a forest here. Forests are kind of interesting for anybody, really. I guess I could have flown into the forest, but I was right at about 19.
It's a height 4 forest.
Right, so I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference. You can't see me.
I can't see him.
Neither one of us can see each other, so we're good. You know, I stopped short of it also because there's really no good positioning over here right now. My units are kind of on the move. There's no good positioning, but I don't have to be in good positioning because there's no counter that you have over here. The only unit that you have that could counter my unit is the Brock Riders, and they're out of position for this turn. So, and if they, I mean, I guess, I don't think they have range on that Forsaken unit. No, I think they're out of range. Or, not Forsaken, sorry. Drakon Riders. This says Forsaken on there. I just forgot to rename it. So I don't think they have range.
They can't charge anyway.
Yeah.
Can't see.
Yeah, so we're good there. Other than that, moved everything up, which is nice because I'm used to sitting back doing nothing with my other elves.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see stuff
moving something towards me.
Yeah. So it's, you know, moving that line up a little bit. I'm starting to see one of the weaknesses to this list, I guess, is that my battle line. You know, I have kind of my skirmisher unit, which is the Forest Shamblers, and all they were really put in there for is so I could have 6 heroes because I needed 3 mages and 3 master hunters. They're kind of a skirmisher unit. Other than that, I kind of have my Drakon Riders moving around the edges, but pretty much this is my battle line. It's a pretty small battle line, especially compared to yours. Your battle line goes across the whole freaking board, you know? So I'm noticing that to be an issue. We'll see if it remedies itself throughout the game, but I don't...
kind of centered right here.
And maybe the forest will help, but it might hurt me.
Riders, so.
Yeah, so I know you're going to have to devote some stuff to Drakon Riders, but I don't know if they're going to be able to position in time for the rest of to save the rest of the army, to take some focus off of them. I guess we're just going to have to see. But, you know, the skirmisher unit out front is nice. I like having that kind of, you know, hey, it keeps you away for a turn.
It's all right.
But
just
I don't
giving
know.
away points.
Yeah.
And if I killed the Rangers, so
if I would have taken out those Rangers, then they would have made their points back because they're only 125 points. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do have Blade of Slashing on them, so I would have re-rolled one of those. But
I don't think I would have.
Whatever. No, because you rolled a 3 for a nerve check, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But still, you know, something to think about. These Master Hunters, they're 90 points apiece. I'm still iffy on them. You know, I know it's only turn 1, but I'm still very iffy on them. That's 270
points. 270.
Yeah.
You're plinking at a guy who's
like, I almost took out like a 80-point model, right?
90-point model with at least 100 mace was like 130.
Woo, yay! Yeah. With 3 90-point models.
But would they actually hurt anything else? Like would they touch the driller or touch the iron guard?
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm wondering about them. They look good on paper, but this is one of those things where this game is different because practice as opposed to paper is very different. This is why we play test. This is why we don't waste money buying really expensive, cool-looking models for a unit that you may not use. You may only use it in 1 or 2 games and then go, this unit sucks. And now you got a really cool paperweight.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. So we'll go ahead and go to Dwarfs Turn 1.
Dwarf Turn 1.
So now that most of my army had underperformed at this point, that at least had done anything, now it's time to see how well you know, the army can do as far as taking charges and how durable are certain units. So obviously the Forest Shamblers getting flanked and getting charged in the front, you know, even though they're fearless, obviously we would see just how durable they really are. Plus, you know, I get to see what the other person is doing with their movement. It gives me a little taste of what tactical edge they're trying to accomplish. What's their goals in this game? Is he going to try and surround me? Is he going to try and pick me off 1 unit at a time? What is he trying to do? And so you're really accomplishing 2 different things in the beginning of this. You know, obviously I'm playtesting my list, but I'm also seeing what's his overall tactic for this new army that he's building. Is it going to be just a run forward and smash him army? Is it going to be more of a finesse army? And you know, will it work well with his play style? Okay, so you whooped up on my Forest Shamblers.
Yeah. Charge with the Rangers into the flank. Charge with the Rangers in the front. Trying to avoid the Drakon Riders over here with the Brock Riders. Gonna try and come contest the flank. Counter the Brock Riders with the Ironclad.
Ironclad, yeah.
And just moved up everything. Could have moved up farther with these guys. Take on the tall spears. I'd like to get some shots in with the rifles, so we'll see how that goes. If anything, flank, 20 attacks.
Yep.
Pretty cool with that too.
Yep.
Over here, did pretty good.
12 wounds,
12
man.
wounds from 2 ranger
Didn't even
with
bother
10
to
attacks apiece.
That was pretty good. Well, 20 on the side there.
Yeah, 20
that
on
was,
the side, so 30 attacks.
The first group did crap, but the second group did really good.
Not too bad.
I need to roll Snake Eyes.
Not gonna happen.
Not Snake Eyes.
Kill the unit.
Aw.
First blood.
4 yeah, right. 4 Shamblers are gone. Sad. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Well, my skirmishing unit's dead.
I still got 2 left.
Yours isn't.
2 little chaff.
Yeah.
Gonna reposition. Gonna go behind the wall. Cool.
That's fine with me.
And then cool right there.
It's all good. I like it.
So I like it. Not bad.
I like it. All right. So, battle line's looking a little different already.
Yeah, starting to get encircled.
Yep.
Except for the Drakon Riders.
Except for
which
them.
worried me.
Yep.
I don't know what they're gonna do over there.
I don't know what they're gonna do yet either.
They're
So.
out of position, so we'll see what happens over there.
Yeah.
If they come around, I don't know. Yeah.
Still don't
How to
know.
play those guys.
Still don't know, man. What? Figure
540.
540. So,
Yeah.
540 points that I don't know what to do with yet. So we'll see.
It's a lot.
All right. Go to Elves Turn 2. So early on in the game, even when you're playtesting, you don't want to show too much of what you're trying to do this early. Especially if you're trying to get around somebody or you're trying to, pull a certain unit closer that you want to take out. So even when you're playtesting, you're trying to see what different units can accomplish different tasks, and but you're also still trying to see, okay, I have a strategy. Can this army with these units accomplish that task, or can they work well in this strategy? My strategy really was, I'm going to try and hold the line, hold that unit in place, and so that way my Drakon Riders can come in and hit. So it's more of like a hammer anvil type tactic. That's a pretty tall order though, because that is a huge left flank for him. He's got several hordes over there, and he's got some heroes, he's got some chaff units, and a monster, and I know I've got some stuff too, but nowhere near as much as he does. His positioning is better. He's got a hill, so nothing in his way there. And I've got to bring my Drakon Riders all the way around the side of the battlefield. So when I'm playtesting this list, this is the idea that I have for the Tall Spears and for the Elven Mages and everything, is to hold that line. The Master Hunters are really just supposed to cause problems, which they're not really at this point because it's still pretty early in the game. But that's my ultimate goal for these units in this army. And then of course the Drakon Riders need to get around things, need to try and take out what they can take out, because I don't want them to flank me either with his fast Brock Riders. And then can they still cause any issues? Can they get over to the rest of the battle before the battle's over? So you always have to have goals even when you're playtesting, and see if your army works to that goal. Alright, Elves Turn 2 is very uneventful.
Yeah.
Charged in with both of my Master Hunters, did 1 wound. I can tell what units are going to be going away. Repositioned some of my stuff. I'm really gambling here. This is a big gamble. I wanted to get into position for some of those units on the hill, so I totally left my flank for the Rangers. I actually did it on purpose.
Oh yeah.
It's totally intentional.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I know it was going to happen. It's going to hurt, because not only are they going to get flanked by the Rangers, but they're going to get charged by at least 2 other units. That being his Sphery Eagle Axe and the whatever the hell they are, Bulwarkers up there, right? Or no, what are those?
Shield Breakers.
Shield Breakers. So, yeah. Well, actually, the Shield Breakers don't have range. So I guess it will actually just be Sphery and the dudes on the flank. So we'll see just how sticky those guys can be. These guys have moved up through the forest to kind of give some counterattack. Luckily, my Master Hunter was able to waver The other unit of Rangers, woo!
Rangers. With a lucky one.
Well, a lucky one hit. You know, he's got 3 shots, 3s to hit. Guys that are individuals never take a -1 for moving. So actually, anything that's nimble never takes a -1 for moving when it's shooting, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The downside to it though is even with 3s to hit, I still only hit 1 time and wounded 1 time. So it's not all it's cracked up to be. I moved my Forsaken around. One of them I put just right in the face of those Rock Riders. Yeah, darn it. Drakon Riders.
Drakon Riders.
God, Drakon Riders, not Forsaken. The other unit of Drakon Riders I put over there on the edge, so maybe fly somewhere, I don't know. Charge the unit in the forest, not
That's 540 points of nothing right now.
They're pretty much just trying to scare his units and it's not working. So we shall see what happens. We're gonna go to Dwarves turn 2. This is kind of a big turn for you. See what you do. I kind of giving you some opportunities here, so we'll see what happens. So the nice thing about playtesting is that, you know, we can kind of let some of the rules go a little bit. Obviously, you guys can see that we have kind of not focused on all the minute details of some of the rules. We are still obviously trying to keep the rules relevant, but there are some that, you know, in a tournament, would you argue if a charge had the distance? Would you argue if the charge went through an obstacle? Well, of course, you're going to argue everything you can. But in playtesting a list, sometimes you want the worst case scenario to happen to not only your army, but to a specific unit, just so you can see what they can go through. What can they weather? What kind of storm can they weather? And is it worth putting in your army? Is it worth buying buying the models and taking the time to putting them together and painting them and stuff like that? Because, you know, if they can't weather a good storm, then what's the point? So you know, we were a little bit laxed on some of the rules. However, we did make sure to account for any thunderous charge or -1s for going into forests or stuff like that. We did make sure to account for them. So you'll see some of his units are broken up, and we have dice representing where the front of those units are. You know, that's one of those things we do because we don't want to see nice, beautiful models falling off of hills and stuff, and it's just never good when you see stuff break. So, you know, this turn was definitely weird for me because I was trying some unorthodox things. I was trying to charge with 2 of my hunters. I was going to see how well they did in combat because on the paper it looked like they could do pretty well. So I also wanted to see what kind of flexibility I had with the Drakon Riders as well. Alright, so real quick, I got one more nerve roll to do. Master Hunter holding it down in the middle. There's a crap load of stuff beating down on top of him,
he's
so
in trouble.
he needs to do something.
Took the battle driller, so
he's good.
He likes it.
On a 5 plus 2 is 7, so he's still alive. Don't know what the hell he's gonna do though, but I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna run like a bitch. Yeah. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna run.
Flee.
So over here, he shot the crap out of my archers.
Yeah. Rifles didn't.
8 wounds.
8 wounds.
And I rolled an 11, so it was almost a
what's he gonna do?
Waiver.
Yeah, took the shots in there. He's got to either charge this unit. This unit's actually up here.
Yeah. So where that dice, where that dice is where the other half of the unit is. One of the only nice things about Games Workshop movement trays of yesteryear is that you could do that with them still. Charged in here. Double charged in here. Yeah, I did 9 wounds.
Double charge. Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah. Severe Eagle Axe and a unit of Rangers got in there and hit some.
9 wounds. That was shocking.
Luckily, my Ranger unit there slowed, or your Ranger unit that was wavered slowed down your horde. So meh. You know, whatever. You put some wounds on my other Master Hunter over there. He's wavered actually.
Yeah,
so
wavered that dude.
Don't know what's gonna happen. Don't know if I'm gonna try and shoot those Brock Riders or charge in there.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh man, getting a couple extra wounds. I don't know.
Brock Rider, or is he gonna charge in the flank?
Yeah.
Is he gonna do double charge? Interesting to see. We'll see.
It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens this turn. My archers are already in the forest, but
archers anymore.
I'm sorry, not archers. Yeah, tall spears. But it doesn't matter if your unit is already in the forest or not. It only matters if they're countercharging. So my unit would still take a -1 for charging into that unit there. But they're still in the forest, so they can still see them, I guess, or see him. But I would still take a -1, and then I'm sitting nice and pretty with your big ass unit right here. So I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we're gonna go to Elves Turn 2. I don't know, man. This battle's or turn 3, yeah. Let's not get messed up on the turns again. That was so confusing when I was trying to make that bat right. This battle's not turning out anywhere near what I thought it was going to be.
Nah, it's pretty cool. I like seeing that, the moving, combat-y.
It's much different. Yeah, it's nice that we're both actually doing something instead of one of us sitting there while the other one marches across the board.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
So
a lot more tactics involved.
It's different,
a lot better play.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll get on with the game. So at this point through a game, you're halfway through, you can start evaluating certain units. Obviously the Tall Spears have taken a punishment and kept on going. In evaluating them, that's one thing they do well, is they can take damage, and you know, they don't necessarily deal a whole lot back, even with the Elven Mages behind them giving them Bane Chant. But you know what, they hold their own, and they're definitely holding the line, and that's one thing that they're good for. You know, I moved around the Master Hunters to try and give them some different angles, some different targets, see what they could do. And unfortunately, they were very underwhelming. My Dracon Riders on the edges, you know, one got around and kind of finally got around. Only took him 3 turns. And that's my fault, obviously, but finally got around the corner there. And the other one's kind of holding up the Brock Riders a little bit. So it's tough to evaluate them at this point in the game. But as of right now, they're really not making their points back yet. So the Elven Mages are holding strong, but I mean that's 90 points apiece too. So they're expensive. For all they're giving me is a little bit of heal and a little bit of Bane Chance. So I'm still on the fence about them as well. All right, so the elves coming back, putting some wounds. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Doing some massive combat.
Did 12 over there. So we saved the rolls for last, so that way you guys could see them. What are they, 21, 23 probably on their break?
23, I think.
Oh, 12 wounds. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. 10. 22. Wavered? Right? Are they 21, 22?
21, 23.
Or 21, 23?
That's strong. Good.
Okay. Well, they're almost wavered.
Almost.
Almost wavered. Let's see. Over here, Spheri. Spheri Eagle Axe. And is he an individual?
He is not.
Okay. Damn, I was hoping to overrun into those Rangers.
He is 19 dash. He's good.
Oh, 19 dash. Crap.
Driller. Oh, Driller's not good. Oh, but he no. 5, 11. He's wavered.
Okay.
Yep, wavered. 10, 12.
So I wavered one thing. Oh man, that's not what I needed on that. I needed something to die. Oof, that's rough. Okay. Let's go to Dwarfs Turn,
Turn
3.
Bottom of 3.
Oh man, it's gonna hurt. Now, of course, whenever you're playtesting a list, the hard part becomes evaluating a unit when the worst happens over and over. Obviously, you want the worst case scenarios to happen to see how far you can push their limits, but at the same time, you know, you can't account for, you know, your enemy unit getting wavered and then having headstrong and blowing past the waiver. You know, those are certain variables that it's hard to judge a unit based on when those crazy things happen. Like when somebody rolls double 1s, you know, or when somebody rolls double 6s. You know, it's really hard to account for those things. And quite frankly, you know, it's one of those things where you may just have to play another game if you're on the fence about a certain unit. You know, the Tall Spears, I knew they were going to die there on the left flank, but man, they took a punishment. And I mean, that's all you can ask for a unit. That's what they're designed to do. At least in my army, at least in my opinion, that's what they're designed to do. They're not ever going to be an alpha strike unit. They're not going to be something that's necessarily going to whoop up on a whole bunch of stuff and keep on going. They are a unit that's not squishy. They're just going to hold the line and attack back decently. So that's what I see them doing. So I'm going to need a donut to sit down for the next week because that hurt bad. I was actually pretty happy on the flank. He only did 6 wounds, as opposed to your 11 from the dudes in the front. Yeah. So
those guys up front with the
man, 11 wounds. They're the bulwarker. No, I get them mixed up. They're shield breakers, right?
Shield breakers with blessing of the gods. So they're pretty good.
So pretty much made him elves.
Kind of.
Even though he hates elves. Yeah.
2 plus crushing strength. So not too bad there.
Wait, +2 crushing strength.
They have 2 crushing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
I was like, no, the blessing of the gods gives him elite.
Elite.
Yeah, so a lot of wounds there. I need insane courage. Don't think it's gonna happen. It doesn't on a 9. So that unit is gone. Here, 20. Oh man, insane courage. Oh no, insane courage. And because I used elven mages, they do not, repeat, do not give inspiring. So that sucks. So my mages are gonna be standing there like, oh crap.
Yep.
8 and 9, 17, nothing. They're good to go. They're the only thing so far that's liking it. My Master Hunter over there, 7 and 4 is 11. So he's wavered again. He's gonna keep sitting there being a punching bag, just hitting him. And over here, big shocker, 3 wounds from the Brock Riders. I was actually kind of surprised. They're fine on a 4. So they're good to go. Yeah. So some tactical errors that I made. First of all, I need some other units like how you have. You're hitting units 2 or 3 at a time, hitting them in waves, which is good. I need to do the same thing, I think. These guys are pretty tar pity, but they can't hold up to 2 units multiple counts.
Are pretty good.
They are, but they
count them out.
But I need something to counter quicker. These Drakon Riders are taking way too long to get around the flanks. And they're just
540.
Yeah, what are we going to be at? Turn 4?
You'll be turn 4.
You know, and they've taken 3 turns to get around the edge. So with this kind of an army, unless I want to play more conservative, they're going to need something to ride along with them and hit when they hit, or at least counter when they get hit, so they don't have to sit through 2 or 3 turns of combat, because I just can't. I can't take that kind of pummeling. So I think that's for me. That's something I'm learning about this list, and that's why we play test. You know, we learn about different lists, we learn about different units, and obviously the synergy in this army, you know, needs to be there. I can't rely on half of it to take the pummeling while the other half comes on. It's just not how they're designed, I don't think.
540 points, nothing.
Yeah, just sitting there.
Just not doing anything.
So we'll see what turn 4 brings us. Oh man. Hopefully, my turn 5. No,
turn 4.
Turn 4. Yep. Yes, my turn 4, right?
Your turn 4?
Yeah, because you did the turn 3. Oh my god. This is gonna hurt. Well, it's gonna be a little better for me, but we'll see. So, top of Elves Turn 4. You know, it's at this point in the game, I mean, I could obviously see which units were doing well, which units were not performing at all, and which units had to perform at this point in the game. It sucks that my left flank there crumbled, but you know, getting double charged, regardless of what units they are, really hurts. Especially Sviri Eagle Axe, he's just a jerk in combat. So I was lucky though; I was able to get a nice little flank charge from the Drakon Riders rear charge from the Drakon Riders. So that would definitely help bolster that middle line and showed me some viability in the Drakon Riders. Unfortunately, I think with the way I played them, it took too long for them to get in the game to really make a big difference. Because, I mean, look, I only have 1 horde of Tall Spears left, and I have a couple mages floating around the board. So there's nothing in that, there's no army left for the Drakon Riders to support at this point. So they're definitely one of those units that I'm on the fence about. So once again, you know, the Master Hunters, I tried to use them as best I could. Trying to have them fit into my style of play and my tactics, and I just couldn't make it happen. I don't even think they killed 1 whole unit the whole game. So end of turn 4 for the elves. All this is now is saving face. That's all this is now. Took out that unit in the middle, got a rear charge from the Drakon Riders. Thank God. Thank God I had to do that. Kind of messed up the front line there. I would have actually charged him first, the dude that I thought was a war machine. I guess he's actually an individual. Because I could have charged him and overrun. You were like, what, 1 inch away from your other unit? Yeah, so probably. As long as I didn't roll a 1, I would have been able to overrun and hit your other unit. And it would have been a cool little play. I would have gotten rid of 2 units for the price of 1. But I didn't do that. So
I don't think you'd hurt that guy.
with 30 attacks.
What do you mean?
So what I could have done is charged with these guys, hit him first, and then overrun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then overrun. But I didn't know he was an individual, so
still killed the unit.
Yeah, still rocked that unit and wavered him in the shooting phase again.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or not
much.
Yeah, again, right?
Yeah.
Wavered those guys, and he
Nothing.
still wavered, but that was your turn. So did some wounds on the Brock Riders. I'll say right now, for anybody that's trying to build a dwarf list, if you don't add a unit of Brock Riders in there, you're just an idiot. I think they're a great cav unit. I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of flack from that. In my opinion, I should say, with the disclaimer, you know, I got to add that disclaimer in there. Brock Riders are really good. They're Fearless 22. How many points are they? 250?
Not even that. They're cheap. 210.
210. You give them Brew of Sharpness, so you make them 255, right?
Oh yeah.
So they're still under the cost of Drakon Riders. Yeah, they're not flying, but they're Fearless 22. Yeah, they're 4s and 4s.
Crush strength.
Yeah, but you give them Brew of Sharpness, they got 20 some attacks, 25, 26, 26 attacks. It's also the only unit in the game that I think has 26 attacks.
Is it?
I think so. Everybody's 25.
Steel Behemoth. Steel Behemoth has like.
No, what I'm saying is like
attacks.
that odd number.
Yeah.
Because like everybody else is 25, 30. Nobody else is like 20, 27. You don't see 27 attacks. So that's going to hurt for the Drakon Riders because the other dudes are going to be in range. Your Ironclad. They'll have to go through the forest, but it's still going to be probably 30 attacks, right?
It's going to be a few.
Plus, your Brock Riders this turn are not going to be hindered. They're
charge.
Yeah. So no Thunderous Charge. I put wounds on you, but you are going to get your +1, so you're going to be what, 3s to hit.
3s to hit.
So that's going to hurt. I don't know if I can withstand that. This Forsaken over here, it took 4 turns, but they got there. They got there. They went all the way around the board. If they could have just stayed right here, they could have accomplished a similar task.
Forsaken, otherwise known as.
Yeah, Drakon Riders.
Drakon Riders.
But we call them Forsaken, or I'm calling them Forsaken. I'm messing them up. So I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about why they're not Forsaken. They are not Forsaken. I keep forgetting that
they're pretty close.
We can do detachments, or I guess alliance, or whatever the allies in this game. They are not though. They're actually Drakon Riders, even though it says Forsaken on them. Yeah, man. Ran my mages around because they are pretty much worthless once that big block goes down. They have no combat capabilities other than like 1 attack. So that's not what they're there for.
Kind of gonna clean it up this turn.
I think so too. I think so too.
Just figuring out how I'm gonna do it.
Same here. Trying to figure out how you're gonna do it too.
I'm gonna take some casualties.
Yeah. So.
Elves are in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, the elves have been in trouble ever since I started running my dudes around the side there. Didn't hold my own flank or my old line.
540 points do nothing. It just hurts.
You know. I understand, and I'm sure I just already know I'm going to take a bunch of crap for this. I understand how the Drakon Riders can be good. I see that they can, you know, I'm sure somebody that utilizes them a lot, I'm sure they can be very good.
Yeah. It's your first game with them.
Exactly.
It's tough.
Exactly. But for 270 points a unit, I just feel that you get a better value. And I guess it also depends on how you run your army. I feel you get a better value from the Stormwind Cav. You lose 2 attacks. You lose their Thunderous Charge 2, whereas the Drakon Riders are Crushing Strength 1, Thunderous Charge 1. That is kind of nice, especially when you charge in, you know. But other than that, they're 3s to hit. They're both 3s to hit. They both have Elite. They're both 5s in defense. And the Drakon Riders are a 10-inch base move, whereas the Stormwind is 9. So really all you're losing is the fly capability, which is, I mean, I get why it's huge, but I just think the Stormwind Cav are more of a complementary Cav unit. You can run them in, I can keep them with other units, run them in. I'm not compelled to try and jump over shit and run around corners, you know? And also their footprint's smaller. Yeah. It's not a lot smaller, but it's smaller.
Huge.
Yeah, they're big. They're pretty big.
It's tough.
And when you run them together, I think 1 Drakon Rider unit is not good. I think you have to run 2. And so now you're looking at, what we say, 540? 540. That's a quarter.
More than a quarter.
You know? Yeah. Invested into a flanking unit that may or may not kill something. I could put 2 units of Stormwind Cav with full gear and still not equal that. I could probably even put 2 units of them and a unit of Silver Breeze or something. I don't know.
So enough talking. We'll go ahead and get to. I'm trying to delay the inevitable pounding that's going to happen this next turn. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and go to turn 4 for the dwarves. That's right. You know, I think Tom's dwarves, you know, really played really well. I like his list. I like his tactics that he used with them. Obviously, the army doesn't play well. It's the generals that make them play well. So those little models can't tell you what to do. You know, he's used to playing with a lot of these units, though. He's used to playing with his Brock Riders. He's used to playing with the Rangers. He's used to playing with his Shield Breakers, his Riflemen. So the tactics there don't have to change too much. They're just slight. I wasn't really used to playing with Tall Spears, was not really used to playing with Mages, was not used to playing with Dracon Riders or Master Hunters at all. So my whole army was pretty much new for me. I had no established tactics with any of these units. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective a little bit. You know, not to mention Tom played exceptionally well. His list is definitely strong, even for being a playtest list. It was very, very strong, and I think he did a great job utilizing every part of that list. All right, so turn 4. Oh, this turn just got stupid. So you shot.
Not kill that mage.
I know.
That's what
Waver. Waver. My mage is like, whatever. I got this.
Took a ranger charge. No biggie.
I got this. So yeah. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You shot with your rifleman at the archer or at the tall spears. Put some wounds on them.
Put a couple.
Not enough to kill them though. I think they went up to where they at. No, they're higher than 8. They went up to 13, I believe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So good shot there.
Yeah, and they passed their test.
They're in trouble. Like
they
have nothing to do.
Yeah, they're in serious trouble. Over there, you charged Sviri. I was surprised you didn't flank charge here.
Thought about it.
You'd have gotten double your attacks because he's not an individual.
Kind of thought the shots would have came in.
Yeah.
When I killed it.
Forsaken did some wounds, man.
They're mighty Forsaken.
But they're called Dracon Riders. We keep forgetting that.
Mighty Dracon Riders. So I was worried about those guys. Should have charged here. Was wavered.
Yeah.
Happens. Charged in with him. Pretty good. 4 attacks, 4 wounds.
Not bad.
10 attacks, 4 wounds.
Not bad.
I mean, not bad.
I like it.
Over here, Dracon Riders, or formerly Dracon Riders.
They died. They took charge from the Brock Riders and from Iron Guard, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what can you expect?
Not much left. We got what? Forsaken.
Got some Master Hunters alive. My Master Hunter finally died here in combat.
Yeah.
Finally caught up with him.
Ranger Captain, he's coming.
So, yeah. Yeah.
We're at turn 4.
See. Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Turn 4.
We'll see what happens here. So even when you're playtesting a list, nobody ever wants to get the pants beat off of them. I mean, it's just the way it is. So at this point in the game, I'm trying to save face. I'm trying to kill as much as I can. I think I finally killed, I shot down the Ranger unit, and I finally killed Spheri. You know, the thing is, I know that some people could take this list that I wrote and make it work. I know that some units are probably great and that other armies can win tournaments with them. It's not just a matter of a unit working great, it's a matter of a unit working great within your tactics and your play style. And that is what matters. And, you know, like I said, I'm sure there are other people out there that could take any of these units and make them work great. But it has to work with the specific player. All right. Well, yes.
Back to the drawing board for the elves.
You know, this is why we play test stuff.
Yeah.
So that when we get wrecked in the face, we can learn from our mistakes and make better lists. So I definitely made some tactical errors here.
I don't think it was too bad. The elves, the list was just bad.
You know, when you look at it,
those guys,
the Master Hunters,
Master Hunters, 3 of those guys, 2 Dracon Riders, you're looking half your army.
You know, the thing is, you want your units to get the most bang for your buck, obviously. And when your units hit, whether that be shooting or combat, whatever they're meant to do, They need to do it well, and I think, in my mind at least, they need to perform at least 50% of the time, if not more. It depends obviously on their stats. The Master Hunters shot something almost every turn, right?
Pretty much.
And the third, I had 3 of them on the board for almost 5 turns.
Oh yeah.
I lost 1 in turn 4. But the other, so you figure 3 Master Hunters, it's shooting every turn. I think they should at least be able, collectively, between them, take out 1 unit a turn.
Do something.
You know?
Like
they're 90 points apiece, so that's 270 points altogether, unless my math is off.
Yeah.
9 times 3. Yeah, sorry, I'm not a math major. So, yeah, that's 270, but that's a Drakon Rider unit.
Oh yeah.
Or another unit of Cav, or another unit of,
I
mean, that's easily a unit of, well, almost a unit of Sea Guard. That's a unit of Archers, a full horde of Archers. That could be another unit of Spearmen. There's a lot of options you can do there. Granted, you lose the 3 things going down, but you can also use Dragon Breath guys, the little flame dudes.
Yeah. 3 attacks a piece.
It's just not enough.
4s, so you're hitting on. You get 2.
Hitting on 3s.
Yeah. So hit 2. Wounds. What do you need to hit?
They're piercing 1.
-1, so you're looking average unit 4, so 3s, so you're down to 1. 1 hit per turn.
It's just not enough, guys.
Not enough.
You know, I'm a firm believer in the bolt throwers, or at least was. But the D3 on the bolt thrower helps make them more viable, I think. I don't see it so much with the Master Hunters.
No.
So
awful.
I just think they're in my mind, and I'm sure there are some people out there that run the Master Hunters and they work for them. They probably run them a certain way, but for me, for this list, for the list I'm trying to build, they don't seem to work. Also, the Drakon Riders. They finally did something turn 5. That was my fault. I mean, I should have had them in the game a lot sooner. When I see a flying character, though, or a flying unit, you know, I want to bring around the side. I want to do all this fancy shit. And I've got to keep pretty true to what they're used for, and use them kind of like my Kindred Lord, I guess, and jump behind shit, turn around.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, their viability is difficult when you're looking at, like you said, 540 points.
That's a quarter of your army.
Yeah.
And what's it doing? Really nothing. Like, I mean, it's trying to position. Unless you're just going to jump straight at it, it's a tough unit to play. I think it has potential. It's a good unit. Just not in this game.
Yeah.
Not seeing it.
And not in the way that I run them. So I'm sure there are people out there that run. I know there are people that run Drakon Riders.
See Drakon Rider list for sure.
They work great. What I want,
pure Drakon Rider list with Drakon Rider, Forest Shambler, stuff like that. Just not a single unit in an army kind of unit. Yeah,
I agree. You know what I'm trying to go for is a balanced list. A list that's going to be able to take on most anything. I'm not looking for a flashy, fast list. That's with another list that I'm building for the Brotherhood, or another army, I guess, that I'm building. You know, I'm not looking for anything real crazy. I just want a list that it is what it is, it does what it does, and it does it well. And I think the Elves have the potential to do that. I just think
across the board.
Yeah, tall spears I think are the way to go. I like them in hordes of. The biggest one you can do is just a horde. They get 30 attacks. I think they're great. I mean, I still had one on the board, turn 5. They were probably going to die, but that's because it's one of the only things on the board. So I think they're good. 3 units of them is a lot. I mean, that's, you know, almost 900 points.
Points again.
But I mean, if that's your core of your army, then you got to build everything else to complement the core of your army. And I think I got away from that. You know, we've been building lists now for not just for this game, but for other games for years. And I think sometimes you get wrapped up in, you know, other things and you forget, you know, you have to go back and, okay, how do I support? What is the goal of my army? What is the goal of each unit in my army? And how can I, you know, best meet my goal with the units that I have? So I think I got away from that a little bit. I want to try and
do some different stuff. He was fluffy about it for sure with 3 mages and all that stuff. He was trying to do something probably shouldn't happen unless you're just going to go that direction completely with it. A straight marching army. He tried to do a balanced list with mages behind it. He tried to do too many things that probably it didn't work so well.
No. And, you know, I like your dwarf list. I know this is a new list. I know we keep talking about mine, but so pretty much, I guess, to finish it off with the elves, the only thing I'm probably going to keep is probably going to be the 3 units of tall spears. Everything else I'm probably going to scrap. I like the Stormwind Cav. Do forests and hindered obstacles and all that kind of crap get him in trouble? Yeah, it does. But you know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
Because they're 215 points. And I mean, for the elves, they're pretty cheap. That gives me a lot of room to play around with, and who knows, I may even break them up and not run regiments. Maybe I'll run troops of them.
Yeah.
You know, run the smaller sizes.
Troops seem like the way to go.
Yeah.
Chaff in the way.
Yeah, some chaff.
Definitely helps.
Yeah, and I think I have to do that more. Break down some of the units. I am definitely going to keep the tall spears as hordes.
Oh yeah.
I like them. They're a good, just punchy, or not even really punchy, but they just hold. They don't die.
They hold for sure.
They stay there. I need to come up with some better units though that are going to hit and complement the spearmen. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Maybe I'll throw the green lady in there. I don't know, 200 points though.
Something.
We'll see.
Figure it out.
She can definitely heal them.
I'm just excited. The Rangers.
So yeah, I mean,
my little chaff unit holding it down.
killing mages and stuff.
What's up with that? And the old guy.
Yeah, your little battle standard bearer.
Not even battle standard. He's a ranger captain.
Oh, ranger
captain.
captain.
Honey maze.
Okay.
So cool. Like, gotta love that guy.
He's a douchebag, by the way. Just saying.
Made some points.
He's a douche.
Just hopping around. 3 attacks.
I think your list was pretty good. I liked it.
It was pretty solid. It's different than what I'm used to playing. So
I'm not too crazy. I'll tell you right now, I'm not too crazy about the monster individual dude.
He's points fell.
Yeah.
That's all he was.
And how much is he?
70 points.
I guess for 70 points.
That's all I had for 70 points.
He's weird though. You know, I would have changed a couple things I did if I'd have known he was an individual. I would have hit him.
Individual monster?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to see an individual monster.
I like that guy. The rifles did nothing this game. Like really, I don't know if I should have passed it up more. Just play it back.
I think your rifles are just. They're a scare tactic more than anything else.
They're so gross.
You know, they're going to complement, and yeah, when they get lined up, they're going to hit stuff and they're going to hurt stuff. It just so happened to be that you shot into a unit that's in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already
with all terrain and stuff, though. It's like,
oh,
do I really need?
You give them or Kenai, right?
Kenai.
So they're forced to hit, but in the forest it becomes 5s again. But once you can get through that,
yeah,
man,
there's
piercing
so
2
much
is
terrain.
gross.
It's like, oh,
And that's the thing with all this terrain, it makes me wonder the same thing. What's the viability in shooting now?
Yeah.
At least in the way we play. I know I keep saying now, and everybody's probably going, "Oh my God, we've been using terrain forever."
But that unit, just did nothing. And that's so many points. I could have put it into another unit of Brock Riders or something.
Just no. 2 units of Brock Riders, no.
It's like,
I hate Brock Riders.
Wasn't sold on shooting. Shooting is just kind of not what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely more complimentary.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's hard to build a list around it, and I had a list built around shooting, and it worked great.
Terrain just messes it up.
Terrain is going to really make it difficult, and there's the balance. I understand why. You know, I get why so many tournaments and so many people are playing with so much terrain, because it does balance it out. Otherwise, shooting would just take over, and I get it. And I understand
we saw that.
Yeah, there were a lot of games where it was just like, you're not going to get to me, you're dead. You know, I like that there's balance there. Just it makes building lists different.
Oh yeah, I like it. Got a good balance here. I'm gonna work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with the units though. Did really well. Ranger captain, awesome guy.
Holding it down. Definitely holding it down. So
Rangers still alive. Turn. What are we at? 5? Top of 5.
Fucking
Rangers. Never thought that'd make it. They were just chaff for the bigger units.
Yeah, they're points. Well, I guess kind of no. They're dedicated chaff, but they're annoying.
Oh yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we'll go back to the drawing board. Well, you're probably not. I will.
No, I will. There's some issues with this army for sure.
I'll definitely go back to the drawing board. Come up with a different list, one that I feel is a little more balanced, and we'll get a game in. Hopefully, maybe next week or something.
Next week.
So,
sounds good.
Happy 4th of July, guys. That's tomorrow.
Definitely.
So have a good, safe 4th of July, and we'll see
Watch
you guys
fireworks, drink some beer.
Yeah. See ya.